good afternoon, everyone. Great win on Saturday. Great come-from-behind win by the guys. We showed a lot of resolve, a lot of toughness, especially in the second half when we were down 11, and continued to not flinch on the sideline and just believed that we were going to find a way to get the thing in the fourth quarter and have a chance to win. And had a big drive and got the touchdown and got the two-point conversion with Will to cut it to 3. And I thought our defense did a really nice job in the fourth quarter. I think we had a couple of picks and in the third, one in the third, one in the fourth, and finished with a couple of punts. So we played well finally at the end on defense, and then had a nice drive after the muff punt to get the touchdown to go up. And that was obviously a big sequence that, but happy for our seniors, happy for all the kids from Kansas to get that win. And now we've turned our attention to a really good Iowa State team. They're playing really well, and I think Coach Campbell's done a phenomenal job. He always does, and this year you can see how much they've gotten better and better each week. And it looks like we're going to have a fun weather day here on Saturday. So it will be a late November game here at the Bill. It'll be a lot of fun.
How do you feel about your team's ability to zero back in on the task at hand after such an emotional high?
That's kind of been the story of our whole season. Whether it's following up a big win to a tough loss to whatever it may be. Like we talked in the locker room after the game. Now it's our senior day, and it's our chance to honor our seniors, and it's going to be emotional. I know the guys are going to be fired up and ready to play. I know Iowa State's going to be fired up and ready to play. It's a great rivalry. It's a great game. And so now it's the same thing we talk about every week. One day at a time, keep attacking the prep, and give ourselves a chance to be successful on Saturday.
What's the status on Uso after his injury?
Yeah, he'd probably be day to day. I don't know. He's got a chance, maybe. He didn't practice yesterday. We'll see how he does throughout the week.
Has there been a steady resolve about this defense, not just last week, but throughout the season, that things would come along and solve the issues?
Yeah, we're getting better. We've seen that. We kind of knew that some of the things that we struggled with early on, we started to clean up. And appreciate Coach Standard. Our linebacker room's decimated with injuries like a lot of teams are, so we're not making any excuses. But I think our guys have done a great job of next man up mentality in the linebacker room. And Bo Palmer played an excellent second half when he got a lot more snaps. Austin Romaine is going to play a bunch. We'll keep rotating those two guys. They're both guys that backed up Daniel and then backed up Jake, and they're playing good football. But I was just excited that we were finally able to get some stops, and we finally got them into some third and longer situations where we were able to make some plays.
How are you able to kind of dictate the tempo of a game when you guys come out and score first?
How are we able to dictate the tempo? Well, it's just something of a mindset of us getting the football and doing something with it and being in an attack mode. And I think Colin has done a really good job of getting those players in an attack mode, and Will's been in an attack mode to say, we need to do something when we get the ball and to start with it. And we've been successful when we've been able to score first. Doesn't mean we were down in the game like we've been down in other games when we've scored first, but our guys just want that mentality of getting the ball and trying to put it in early in the game.
And as quiet as DJ Giddens is, what do you think his response would be to a 1,000-yard season?
I don't know, where's he at anyway? Is he there? Is he close? I don't even know. Yeah, he's that's DJ. DJ's just battles, and he's playing really well. He's doing what I thought he would do, as far as the season went on, get better and better. And I tell you what, he's getting some tough yards, and he's running through contact, and exciting to see him continue to gain confidence, get better and better.
You mentioned the weather on Saturday. How early in this week do you kind of game plan around that and say we're going to do this based on the weather report, or do that?
You always look at it. Offense will do some wet ball things each day this week. By the time we practice right now, it's dark anyway, so it's already a little coolness in the air. It's going to be windier today, so we get acclimated. I mean, we're at the indoor, but both groups go outside. We don't stay in the indoor. Offense goes outside for a little bit, then defense. So we get acclimated. We've done that this whole year. Even the Houston week where it was in the 30s as well. We were in and out, and so our guys are used to it, and but we've got to do some things with wet balls for sure.
There are quite a few scenarios that could either have you guys playing for a spot in the Big 12 championship game or already eliminated heading into kickoff. Do you want your guys paying attention to that or completely ignoring
No,
it?
we don't pay any attention to it. We've navigated it really well the last 2 weeks when everybody was trying to stuff it down our throat of what it was, and all our kids did is go out and play and win 2 big games.
Coach. I'm sorry.
One more. I also want to ask about Randon Plattner. He was right in the center of the celebration in Lawrence with the band and everything. It seems like he has a real knack for doing that. After big
Charismatic
wins.
guy, old Randon. It was not surprising that I don't know if they asked him to go up there or if he moved Dr. Trace down and said it's my turn to lead this band. But that's Randon. Did he do that last year too? Yeah. So he just wanted his one shining moment that he had. That was a cool time because where our band was at was where we exited the field, right where our locker room was at. A lot of fun. So appreciate the pride and so appreciate Dr. Trace. It was a great evening with them.
Iowa State was picked for lower part of this conference, and they've really shown to be a good football team. What do they do that is troublesome?
Don't believe everything you hear and see early in the season because I'll tell you another team, and that was West Virginia. And I saw Neil at Big 12 Media Day, and I said, Neil, you're going to surprise a lot of people. You're going to have a dang good football team. And he kind of smiled at me, and Neil's having a heck of a year. And I know the way Matt coaches. I know the way Matt develops guys at Iowa State. I've got so much respect for Coach Haycock on the defensive side. They just do such good things on both sides, and they never beat themselves. They're sound in what they do. They're really good on special teams. They don't give the ball away. They take it away. They make you earn everything. And then they can methodically put drives together and keep your defense on the field. They've got big play capabilities with a number of running backs and wide receivers. And you can tell just how much those guys have improved. And they play hard. I mean, this is going to be a physical game. These two teams are two of the more physical teams in the league.
Is that why so many of these Farmageddon games are so competitive? It comes down to physical play?
Yeah, I think that's a big thing. And it doesn't matter if it's a high-scoring game or a low-scoring game like last year. Typically it comes down to a possession or two. And it's going to be physical, and we've got to tackle really well, and we've got to block and get off blocks well.
You went to a young offense coordinator 2 years ago. They did it this season. And it seems to be something that's going on in college football, a lot of younger OCs. What are the advantages of that, and why is this occurring?
I never thought of it like that. I could see somebody as old as you would think of it like that. Probably relatability as much as anything. And, he had him on his staff. I had CK on the staff, so I just saw the interaction with athletes on a daily basis. It's all about relationship building and then being a great leader.
You're going to see another freshman quarterback. That's first question. Have you ever had a season where you played this many freshman quarterbacks? And how good is Beck?
Yeah, he's playing really well. He probably struggled a little bit early on, like a lot of freshmen do at every position. It just gets magnified at quarterback. But as you watch him from game 1, 2, and 3, like we've in the breakdown to where he's at now, playing with a ton of confidence. Got really good arm talent. I think he does a really good job with play action things, hiding the football, in control, confident. I haven't paid attention to what year quarterbacks are. That we play, I haven't really, because there's just good football teams in our league. But I think he's a really talented guy. He's got a football pedigree in his background, and he's a competitor.
And then have conversations already started with the guys that could come back?
Not till next week.
Could you just talk a little bit about about this senior class
Yeah.
and what they've
Well, it's
meant?
fun for me because I've been with a lot of them all 5 years that I've been here. Some of them came back for a 6-year, which I'm so thankful to spend another year with those guys. And they've been through so many of those guys, those offensive linemen especially, have been through so much with our staff. I don't even know how many guys are walking, and there's a lot of guys that are walking that have to make a decision once they're done if they're going to come back for another year. But there's a number of guys that we know are going to move on that, went through a good time in 2019 to a tough experience in the pandemic year to rebuilding this the way we wanted to in 21, 22, and now 23 to put 3 really good seasons back to back. And I told the guys on Monday, the guys that have been here with us all this time, that these guys have put K-State on the national map. And I think it's really cool for a legacy for that group. No matter how this thing ends, as far as if we finish this week in the regular season, if we get the opportunity to play for another week in the Big 12 championship, to playing in a bowl game, whatever it may be proud of the legacy because you left the place a lot better after your time here.
I know you said you won't have the discussions till next week, but have some of them already indicated what they're doing?
It's a good question. I don't get into it until the end of our season. And if we play in the Big 12 championship game, it'll be the following week. And I just have never, since this whole thing started a few years ago, I've never felt it appropriate to talk to a guy until our regular season is done with. Obviously before a bowl game, but whether that's the end of the season or after the championship game, I just don't think it's appropriate. Let them enjoy this process, and then we'll do it before we prep for a bowl game.
This is a while back, but a lot of people were very upset to learn that in 2027, K-State and Iowa State will not be playing. Was K-State ever given an official, statement or told by the Big 12 why this is not happening?
Yeah, I couldn't tell you, and I haven't looked that far ahead. I did see that it was on there, but I haven't really paid any attention to it. It's going to be hard, guys. If we want to keep certain rivalries, I'd love to play Iowa State. I'd love to play Kansas. Shoot, I'd love to play Texas Tech. I'd like to play Baylor and TC, but you can't anymore. I mean, that's college football now, and so that's way above my pay scale and administration. Let the conference office, ADs figure that stuff out. We'll see how the chips fall come 2027. I don't know what's going to happen.
Coach, you talk all the time about it's hard to win a college football game, and you've been successful doing that here at home all season. What's that say about the consistency and some of those intrinsic values that this team has that allows them to be so consistent at home?
Yeah, I wish we could bottle it up and have it every game, and keep it when we're here. Our guys have really loved the fan base that's come out in droves every week here. They've had an excitement of playing here every Saturday. I really think and believe that us not practicing out there every day like we used to, because that was the only place we had other than the old indoor, that us being at the new indoor and the outdoor field get some excitement for our guys to come down here, do the walkthrough on Friday, and then play here on Saturday. I think that gives them another part of excitement of being back in the stadium just for games. And our older guys know that it's hard in that locker room when you lose on the road. We've had a couple of those times, and it's really hard. It's almost devastating when you're at home to do that with our great fan base and the people that come out. And so they've really attacked their preparation every week, but at home they're really excited about playing in front of these great fans.
And to address the senior class maybe in a little different way, we know the state of college football right now, the transfer portal and everything like that. And in the spirit of Thanksgiving, how thankful are you that all these guys choose to come back to Kansas State?
Yeah, really thankful, and I think you take it a couple ways. One, they want to be around each other. We've got a really close-knit group of guys. Everybody talks about locker rooms that are close on different teams. It is family down there in our locker room with our players. There are no cliques. Everybody from different position groups gets along really well. They have a lot of fun together. You see that on the road. And then I credit our assistant coaches. You look at Connor Riley, the relationships that he's built with those offensive linemen. They wanted to come back and play for Riles. They wanted to be together with Coach Riley, and it goes with all of our other coaches as well. But that's just one position that I look at because there's so many of those guys that are 6-year guys that tells you a lot about the staff we have, but it tells you more about the character and integrity of our players and how they know they got a really good thing in that locker room, and they want to enjoy it as long as they can.
What's impressed you the most about what Damian and Javon have done behind Uso this season?
Just consistency and steadiness, and whether or not they're playing 10 plays a game or 30 plays a game. They've given us really good snaps in there, and we've rotated guys. We've kept, they both have been nicked up a little bit. Damian's back full go now, but they've both been nicked up. It's allowed us to keep them fresher at practice, having all three of those guys in there some. They know what we're doing. Damian's been here a long time. He knows our defense inside and out. Javon's been here a shorter period of time, but has really fit in and learned what we're doing and has been really impactful. So we're lucky we have depth there.
I was going to ask you about Jace Brown and what he's doing. Can you just kind of describe what his journey has been like this year?
Yeah, impactful, that's for sure. Just keep practicing, keep doing what you're doing, and when your opportunity comes, make the most of it. And early in the season, he wasn't a part of the rotation, but he kept doing things at practice. And when I say doing things at practice, when we'd go K-State versus K-State, he's running by really good players, and we was like, God, this kid's got really special speed. We think he can do some things, and we start throwing him on some go balls and stuff, and then realizing he can be an every down wide receiver for us. And he's made some really big plays. Last week, the 3rd and 8, where he kind of ran a jerk route or a return route on a big play and caught it and ran away from the guys. That was huge, as well as the first play of the game. We thought we had a touchdown because we knew what the coverage was. And Will put a good ball to him, and we get a 40-yard gain or something on first down. Those are plays that we're so thankful to have him because he's got that extra gear, and he's had a really good freshman season.
I was going to ask you also to maybe tell us a little bit about Bo Palmer's path, because not anybody really talked about him in the beginning, and here he is, a major contributor late.
Well, and that's Bo's been a major contributor on special teams, but we had a number of linebackers with experience that were coming back, so he was going to be a special teams guy. And all of a sudden we lose Daniel Green, and now he's maybe a role player a little bit, getting a few snaps, and all of a sudden we lose Jake Clifton, and that role goes up a little bit more. And he just comes to work every day and practices his tail off and learns from even though he's as old as some of these guys, he doesn't have the game experience as Dez and Austin Moore, so he keeps learning from those guys. And we wouldn't be where we're at without Bo Palmer right now. We lost Terry Kirksey to an injury, who is another Mike backer, and so Bo has just kind of climbed that depth chart and has made really big plays for us. And I thought he played really well on Saturday. He got our linebacker of the game, and rightfully so. He deserved it. He made a couple big-time plays.
Chris, in your time here, when you think about preparing for Iowa State, is it just go back to the file folder from the year before because you start at the same place with them every year, or has it changed?
You always go back to the folder, and then you see how did they attack us? How did we attack them? What were the things that hurt us? What were the things that we did okay? What are the things that have hurt us then you look at, because they run a similar defense to us. They're doing it a little bit differently than we are, but the 3-3-5 is kind of the extent of it. But just trying to see how people are attacking them and how people are attacking us, because as like last year was a great example. Yards and points were at a premium last year, and first downs were hard to get, and Who knows how this game's going to play out? But both teams and both staffs know each other so well. And so who can make those other adjustments and maybe some wrinkles to the previous game plans?
Coach, you get 3 turnovers Saturday, another fumble that they recovered. Do you kind of have scoop and potential score parameters that you try to set?
Yeah. Great example was the block PAT return for 2. You can't go down in that situation. You have to find a way to stay on your feet or fumble the ball and let another player pick it up and try to score. We should have and wish we would have tried to dive on the one fumble they had because it wasn't truly in the open field. You may have thought it was in the open field, but it was between the hashes, and we just got to pick that one up or dive on that. But 2-point conversions. We had an interception with Siegel the week before on a 2-point play. You try to stay alive as much as you can. But yeah, we work those situations usually in fall camp. You don't get a lot of chances to work those in the season. But it was a huge play. I mean, that was a difference in the game. Is Nate having an unbelievable individual effort in blocking a PAT and then blocking the kicker so that Keenan could get it, made a guy miss and scored.
Chris, if again you've done this long enough, and you may get asked in week 1, what's your team's personality? And I know you've typically said, well, we have to wait and see.
Yeah.
Can you kind of define the evolution of this team and what it was against SEMO and what you are right now?
Boy, we needed that signature win like we had last week. I thought that was important for this team because our wins have all become on blowouts, which is kind of crazy to think about when you've won as many games as we have, and they've all been blowouts in the wins, and the losses have all been on the last play or the last drive. So I thought it was really important for this team and their legacy to have one of those wins where didn't look good, found a way to come from behind and then held the lead, you hang on to the ball for the last 5 minutes and 33 seconds with the offense on the field when they know what you're going to do. That's pretty impactful. That's pretty cool as far as a legacy. And, the story's still being written for us. We still got more chapters, and this is a huge one. So we're still kind of figuring out what that final legacy is going to be, but that was a huge chapter last week.